What's up, everybody? Jason Swank,
Iron garlic here.
and we're here with another episode of the Crazy Ass Neighbor podcast. Today, we're going to talk about getting back at your HOA. I found an article by Megan Liscombe on BuzzFeed, and I thought it was really pretty funny. But before we get into that, I wanted to tell you a story of this image that I found. This neighbor was complaining about this guy's tree that was overhanging over their grass, right? We've all had those neighbors, right? Like, oh, trim your tree. Well, he had the HOA approve it to cut it down. So in place of the tree, this guy planted this bush, this huge bush, and then had an artist sculpt it. And I just wanted to show you what it looks like.
Oh my God. Oh.
Isn't that great?
Is that the crazy neighbor looking at it?
It's the craziest neighbor. This person apparently was in their window and saw the neighbor walk over to their fence line and just look at. And so now the neighbor that complained has to look at this shrub of this guy bending over with this crack hanging out.
Oh my God. Well, can you put that back up? Because there's a couple things I want to talk about in this photo. First of all, this photo looks like a stock photo. Like there's some crazy stock photos out there. Being in marketing, I see crazy. This is so perfect. It's like perfectly angled. Look how perfect that fence is. How perfect those lawns are. And then, dude, like I can't see the guy's shoes, but he has the white tube socks on and the jorts, and he's just hands on his hips and his aviators.
Oh yeah, he's frustrated. Yeah. He's like, I should have left the tree up.
Oh my God, that is so funny. That is hilarious. I want to do that.
So that's just one way you can get back at your neighbors that are complaining about a tree overhanging in your yard. Just get a huge bush and then pay or sculpt it if you know how to sculpt it.
I won't make a comment about huge bush, but
yes, thank you. This is a children's show, sort of.
It's a children's show. Wow.
No, it's not. But I saw this other article, or some of the things about getting back at your HOA. So we've all had those HOA neighbors, and I've had them. Literally, you'll see them. They're like undercover cars that patrol the neighborhood looking for violations.
Oh, my sister's HOA here, I won't say where she lives, but they actually have someone whose job it is to do that. And it's crazy, the violations.
That's the board position?
Yeah. Like they're just driving around. I'm like, you have to be the angriest person in the world. And then to show up someone's house, and I'll have to ask them, because it was like their grass was slightly too, it was like half a centimeter too high, or someone like person's out with like measuring it. Or, it's just nuts. It is nuts. And I can understand. I want our neighborhood to look nice, but like there's a way you talk to people about it. You have a conversation. I'm like, hey, would you mind it? And then if someone's extreme and like their house is decrepit, that's one thing. Oh, man. And, it's funny because don't you have a pink house in your neighborhood?
Yes.
Right. You have a pink house in your neighborhood, and they're complaining about the Sasquatch. You have a giant pink house on a mountain in Colorado. How out of place and ugly is that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if anyone's listening has a pink house, but you shouldn't have a pink house.
Not in Colorado. You can have it in Florida. You can have it on the Florida coast.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so we've all had those neighbors. Like literally, I remember, I forgot to tell you this. So my landscapers one time were, doing a bunch of landscaping in the back, approved project for our water feature. And our landscaper showed me how to work the excavator. And I was like,
the excavator. It's
right?
not an excavator. It's an excavator. Jason doesn't know how to pronounce about 30% of the English language.
That's correct. Thank you. And so they show me how to work this thing. So I'm just driving it around the property. And yes. Literally I see this creeper car just coming by, and like with blacked out windows. And I know they're taking pictures of me. So I'm just like twisting it around, doing circles. Well, in this article that Megan wrote, I should have done this, and I'm going to do this in the future. This person basically said, I called the cops, and every time I see this person, I say, suspicious vehicle driving very slow around the neighborhood, making notes at certain houses. It didn't take very long before she stopped being the HOA busybody. I saw her get pulled over one day, so I knew the message got through.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Isn't that brilliant?
That is brilliant. That is great.
Are you ready for the next one?
Texas. Except here in Texas, right? Someone actually might come out and shoot you.
That's right.
But anyways.
You ready for the next one?
I am.
So I think, and this applies to us, we literally have this rule in our neighborhood about flags, right? You can have the Colorado flag and you can have the US flag. That's it. You cannot have your sports team's flags, like Florida State, whatever it is.
Well, who would want Florida State? Jesus.
This is not a show bashing me or my team.
Yes, it is. 100%. That's why I'm on here.
That's
to
right.
Make fun of Florida State.
I know we haven't been that good in a long time, but so the board complained about the flag that this person was putting up. He was putting up a UGA flag. I would actually complain about a UGA flag. No, I'm just kidding. But they created a rule. They said, in this particular neighborhood, you can have your sports team's flags up when they're actually playing.
What?
Yep. So you can have it up on the day they're playing. So if Florida State's playing on Saturdays, you can have the Florida State flag up on Saturday. Well, what this neighbor did is he left it up all the time. So he kept getting violations. But what the board didn't know, he printed out the schedule of every sport. Badminton, table tennis, if you go to Florida State, the circus. We do have a circus at Florida State, right? So he literally printed out the schedule. And so when he went to the hearing for them, he said, I'm just supporting my team. Here's all the schedule. And it was literally every day.
Oh my God.
I thought that was kind of brilliant.
That is awesome. So what did they have to do? Like, they're just like, oh, we can't find them?
I think so. They didn't go more into but that's just a way of going, hey, jokers, I found a bypass. You said you can have the flag up to support your team. Yeah. And I support every sporting event that my team does. I think that was
HOAs have some weird rules. Ours, we have the rule that you can't have a garage facing the street. But our neighbor across the street is on a corner, and their garage faces our house because their front door faces another street. I mean, it's just weird rules, right? Like, why does it matter if the garage faces the street? I guess you just don't want to look in people's garages. I mean, I can say keep your garage door closed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the last story on how to get back at your HOA, and I think this one was really pretty brilliant. So a lot of HOA says you can have decorations or lights up for the holidays, right? For Christmas. That's when a majority of neighbors put up, holiday lights, right?
Yeah.
And so they said you can only have holiday lights up 15 days after and 15 days before, which this neighbor was kind of pissed. They were like, I like putting up Halloween decorations on October 1st. Right? And so they were like, man, what can we actually do? So then they started putting lights up and just putting the lights up that you can change the colors, and literally found every holiday kind of like the schedule. And literally they kept trying to come after it. And then the board met at a secret undercover meeting, which my idiot trappers crossing my neighborhood
secret
board meeting, right? And because they don't want the homeowners to know what they're talking about. And so they'll meet and they said, oh, only major holidays. And they designated the major holidays. Well, what this homeowner did is like, oh, what about the Jewish people? What about the Jewish holidays? And then people
Oh,
started getting really pissed. And he just got the whole neighborhood against this board. And I thought that was really kind of brilliant. So good job.
good job. Good job. I mean, lights up, right? It's like, you know, my, there's so many great holidays out there. You should have lights up all the time.
I mean,
Okay,
there's
so you can
National
have a
Flag
casino.
Day. There's Peanut Butter Day. I mean,
There's peanut butter. Yes, Arbor Day.
Arbor Day,
You have little tree lights.
Flamingo Day.
Flamingo Day. Is there Flamingo Day? There must be.
There has to be a Flamingo Day. So comment
Flamingo Day.
below if you found a Flamingo Day. If not, we're starting it. When do you want Flamingo Day? Let's make it June 2nd.
June 2nd. Well, then we have to wait another year
That's right.
for Flamingo Day.
All right. Well, let's make it.
I'm gonna
June
get someone
10th.
to come put a bunch of flamingos in your front yard for Flamingo Day.
I hope so. Pink ones.
Pink ones. Oh man. Do you have any more stories?
No more stories. How do you want to end the show?
Well, I want to have. I think I'm going to start finding you my next door of the day. You know, next door is an awesome place to realize how angry and crazy people are out there. Yeah, next door does some good things, but it's really become this place that's just anger. And I loved this one. It is, one of my favorites. I don't know. Should I share it, or we'll add it in post?
We'll
You'll
just add it in post. Send me the
All right.
screenshot, and
So
voila.
this neighbor is very upset because they moved in next door to this business in 1990. 32 years ago, and the business has changed. Their business happens to be the airport, the Orlando Executive Airport, which is a small airport near downtown Orlando. I'm really close to it, and they're complaining about the small jet traffic coming to the airport. And they're like, they counted the number of planes, and I'm just imagining the person out there just counting planes. I'm like, are you surprised that the airport has more planes than it did in 1990? And they went out and complained about it. I mean, yeah, I can imagine them going there. I'm like, can you have less planes, like going knocking on the door? But instead, they went to next door.
Sounds a lot like my neighbors that move by a lake and complain about how many boats are on the lake.
There's too many boats on the lake. Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, it's like people just never happy.
Nope.
Never happy.
Well, awesome. Well, if you guys have a story to share with us, or you see a funny thing that your neighbor did or an article, please go to crazyassneighbors.com, submit it to us, reach out, comment, because we want to hear your guys' story. And
I want to see pictures of big bushes. Just send them to Jason at.
No, do not give him my email. Oh, Ian, what are we going to do? All right. Well, let's wrap this up before we get sued by the SEC. Or SEC? Is that the football?
Florida State might sue you.
That's right.
They want their diploma back.
They probably do. All right. Well, send us your stories and stay safe from your neighbors. Stay away from those crazy people.
Have a good one.